us.
And thank you for being here.
Of course.
Do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Does it look straight to you?
No, it looks a little bit lopsided, actually.
Bruh. Okay, you guys can introduce yourself.
You can go ahead.
So, I'm Christopher. I'm not going to say my last name, actually. But I am 24 years old. I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. Hashtag 201.
Hell yeah.
I'm
hell yeah.
first generation Filipino American. And thank you, Lavette, for having us on ETCHED GROCERY CART.
Hell yeah. I'm so glad you guys are here.
I'm so glad I'm here too. Hey y'all, Lorenzo here. Also grew up in Jersey City. Actually, I grew up in the Philippines. Then I moved to Jersey City. Now I live in Queens, so we don't claim Jersey anymore. Chief Keef, blow that shit up.
No, that's fucked
Blow
up.
that shit
He,
up. I don't care anymore.
he's
I'm
not a
out
New
in
Yorker
Queens
either.
now. But yeah, hey,
Yeah.
thank you so much for having us. I'm so excited, kind of nervous.
Yeah. It's always a little bit awkward at first, but we're gonna push through it.
Hell yeah.
I specifically wanted Chris and Lorenzo in the pod because they, if you can't tell already, they're fucking dripped out. And it's like that every single time I see them.
Gas,
And
gas is
so
lying.
yeah, we're going to talk about men's fashion, and we're also going to talk about Filipinality.
Hell
being Filipino,
Philippines.
specifically being Filipino American.
Yep, it's hella Filipino right now in this house. So
It's hella Filipino, and I feel like there's a lot of nuance. that we
everyone,
can talk
yeah.
about.
Even Patty Melt's being Filipino.
Even
right now.
Patty Malt's Filipino. Yeah, she can understand a few Tagalog words. But everyone needs to get Filipino right now. So
Right now.
If you're not Filipino enough, like, click out the podcast.
yeah, actually just get out
Just
and
get out.
unsubscribe. I'm sorry.
No, like and subscribe, and then you can.
And
get it.
then,
I'll show you the door. It's fine.
Yep.
mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay. Yeah, we'll also be sprinkling some Tagalog here and there.
Okay.
Ooh,
That
I
sounds
think we
good.
should. That'd be
I
kind of
think
good.
I think we should. Yeah.
We can do that. Just as a note, none of us are like fully fluent, so
Yeah. Yeah.
don't make fun of us.
But I'm trying to learn, and every single time I see them, it's always like refreshing and nice because like I'm able to kind of like work on my Tagalog. Yeah, which is so nice.
It's like a lesson. I feel like I'm better in Tagalog now as a 24-year-old than like when I was like 10.
That's crazy.
But like, isn't that the thing? Because like you grow up more, the more you learn. Why would you be better at 10 than right now?
Because like at 10, well, you're just more like you're with your family more, and like it's easier to learn language when you're younger. Like when I was like 4 or 3, my mom told me like I was able to speak Tagalog and then like speak Bicol.
Okay.
What was like the main languages that you guys spoke in the house? Like the first main language?
I can go first. So when I first like lived in the Philippines, my family was like so against me speaking any language except English. So at home, like they'd only speak to me in English, but like where I lived, our local language is called Ilonggo.
Mm-hmm.
And so like obviously I went to school there. All of my like classmates, they'd speak like Ilonggo,
Yeah.
and obviously I'd like pick it up from them. And then
Yeah.
I'd come home, and then I'd speak it to my like mom, and she'd be mad. She'd be like, "No, English." English. But like so Loki, I'm fluent in our local language Ilonggo, but that's only through like interacting with like everyone else at school. Obviously,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't really learn it through my family. But it's so funny because now that I live here in America, me and my like parents, me and my mom, we talk to each other like just pretty much all in Ilonggo. So
Yeah.
that's so funny.
That kind of reminds me, that's like something that I remember seeing on TikTok about like immigrant families or like immigrant parents like always encouraging their kids to like speak English in a way. I think like they're like looking out for like our job or like our career in a way, or like the way that we adapt in the States and stuff.
I think, yeah, my experience was similar too. Like the thing is, growing up in my household, it was mainly Tagalog and English because my dad was here since he was like 15, 16.
Oh.
So he like speaks perfect English with no Filipino accent, and then perfect Tagalog without an American accent.
Oh my god.
So he was like, everyone in my household was like, they didn't encourage Tagalog, but they didn't like discourage English. Wait, is that right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there was no preference except for my dad. He was like, you should speak English.
Yeah.
But then I think as my mom was like trying to get her career up, she was speaking more English to get better in Tagalog.
Oh.
So like I was 3 or 4, and then I moved to Florida for 2 years when I was 5, and I came back and I like knew no Tagalog.
Did they teach you guys? Like, did they teach you, or was it more so like I'm speaking it around the house and like you pick up what you learn?
I don't think I was ever taught like formally taught by them.
Okay.
It was just like it was around me. That's why I was able to learn Bicol, because my mom and her sister, like, they lived with us.
Yeah, and like they did not want to teach me that shit at all. They're just like English, and I guess it is just like what you said, where like they're kind of like they kind of do that. We would probably end up in America,
Yeah.
so it would probably do me best to like be like fully fluent in English, but also I feel like there's like some level of like kind of like, I don't know, looking up at like the Western like cultures. They're like, you know what, our language, fuck that, English.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Fetishization?
Like
The
Western,
West,
like Western fetishization.
That would be under it.
I think
right?
you see that, like, even so I get TikToks of like the people who go to like the really good schools in the Philippines, like Ateneo and like De La Salle.
Oh shit.
And like in those TikToks, no one speaks Tagalog. They're speaking full English, some of them without even an accent.
Oh my god.
Like,
and they're born and raised in the Philippines.
and they're born and raised in the Philippines.
I've always wondered how the hell do like kids get away with that, because it's like you're literally surrounded by all of these Filipinos with accents. Like how does
But
that?
all these schools, they're all in like Manila, and I feel like Manila is like very English speaking.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
I would say so too, yeah. I think I mean, especially if you're like in that environment of like, I think Filipinos call it like social, like the type of people who are like like-
first Filipino word we're dropping.
like bougie and like you
Yeah.
know, they like love Western culture and they think it's like a good thing to like be able to speak English, like in the same way where like if you have like braces in the Philippines, like people think you have money.
Oh yeah. I've heard that before. That's kind of crazy.
So yeah,
yeah.
it is different.
And speaking on that, like social, like it's if you can speak like English in the Philippines, that's like a fucking flex there.
Yeah.
It's like people will literally look at you like, oh, you spoke perfect English, so social, yeah, no, social. And it's literally like people try to one up each other through just like speaking English, and I'm like, what is this? And you would think it's like a country like ours that's been like so heavily colonized, like this should be the time for us to take our culture back, but no, it just keeps going down that like route of just like
literally.
Western fetishization.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that kind of makes me sad, because it's like we're not really embracing our culture. Like I think I can't remember if it was like Asian Boss on YouTube. I saw a video about how like Taglish has become a prevalent language there. Like people are forgetting the actual Tagalog language.
Yeah,
That's fucking sad.
I think
That's so sad.
I think it is sad, but I also don't think it's unexpected. I think like because like the Philippines has been conquered so many times,
Damn.
and not only has it been conquered, it has like so much Chinese influence and so much like Spanish and then American influence. Is just like kind of natural.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just a whole lot of mixing going on over there, which is honestly it's fine, because I feel like there are still like a lot of people, especially like here, even in America, where like because we're here, we want to try to reconnect with like our roots and stuff. So I feel like, you know, it'll never actually die as long as like there are people who actually still like, you know, embrace being Filipino.
Yeah.
So that's the like silver lining there, I feel.
When was the last time that you guys were at the Philippines?
Well, my last time. So I moved here in 2011, and I did not go back until 2023.
Oh my
So I went back 2023, and I was like,
How did you feel?
where am I? Because like the place I lived in, it's called Bacolod City. It's in like the middle of the Philippines in Visayas. It's like a city.
Wait, Lorenzo, you're my age, right? You're like 24.
He's old.
No,
He's
I'm
Ankh.
26.
That's Ankh right there, bro.
Wait,
Ankh.
what? Okay.
Chill, Lolo.
26.
Ankh.
No, you're fine. I'm already.
He has to go on the other line at Broken Mirage.
I fucking hate
The
you.
26
Why
and
would you say
older
that?
line.
Why would you say that? You know what? Fuck you. I will proudly go that line. Be like, I don't know who the fuck that is. I'm going over here. But anyways,
Okay.
Yeah, I went from 2011. I didn't go back until like 2023. You laughing?
No, sorry.
No, it's cool. I don't actually mind. But yeah, 2023, and I went back, and like my like city I grew up in was like kind of like a growing city, but at the same time it's still kind of the boonies.
Yeah.
And so it was so weird. It was so weird because it's like there are areas where it's like literally cities, like buildings and stuff, and then there's areas where it's just literally full like rice fields, and there are literally people living out of like wooden huts, and I'm like, what is this? There's people living in wooden huts like maybe on this side of the street, and then on this side of the street it's like some crazy like developed like subdivision houses, big ass mansions, and I'm like,
That's how my
what
parents'
is
province
going
looks like also, yeah.
on? Yeah, so it was weird, and it's really fucking hot.
So
Really fucking hot. Yeah.
Like, you will shower and the water will be cold, but
Yeah.
that's okay because, like, you're fucking
You're
sweating
literally
anyway.
okay. And then you literally walk out the shower, the humidity just hits you in the face again. Like, damn, I'm already
And
fucking sweating.
like,
What the
I'm
fuck
already
is going
dry.
on?
Like, yeah.
Okay, Chris, when was the last time you went to the Philippines?
Okay, so me personally, as a Filipino American,
Bro.
I have never been to the Philippines.
Get him out.
They're saying get me out, but so actually the real reason why I haven't been to the Philippines is because when my parents were planning to go, my little brother was born, and he was like born really like 2 months premature, like, and he would get like pneumonia like once a year until he was like 4 or 5 years old. So like they just didn't
Shout
think.
out Chris's brother.
Shout out Jacob.
Shout out Jacob.
Shout out Jacob.
They didn't think it was a good idea for us to go.
Oh.
And then like it just never lined up. And also like my dad has no family there anymore. They're all like dead or moved here. And then my mom, like all her family like lives in Bicol, so it's like very far from Manila.
Okay, wait.
Oh
yeah, I want to pause really quick. Wait. I'm going to pause your story really quick.
okay, go.
Yeah, when I met Chris, I freaked the fuck out because I have never met another Bicolana person in the States. Like, in my hometown in McAllen, everyone there is mostly like Ilocano,
Yeah.
and so yeah, like I've only ever been like the one Bicol bitch until I came here and I met Chris and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's cool, yeah.
Yeah, like
Second Tagalog word we're dropping.
we're like probably like somehow related to each other, or like our family has definitely ran into each other.
Yeah,
Because you're from like what part of,
Sorsogon.
yeah, Sorsogon. My family is also from Sorsogon, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I think my mom was probably too young because I asked her and she's like, oh no, I don't recognize that last name. But for sure, like, because my family over there owned the farm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
Do you just say own the farm? Like there's a singular farm there?
like
Like they own the farm.
they owned a big ass farm where like they grew everything like rice, mango, coconut.
That's so beautiful.
And they would have people from the town work the farm.
Yeah.
Um,
We gotta get you in Bicol.
I
Well,
know
that's what
I
I'm
gotta go
saying.
back. I do gotta
I've
go.
been
I mean,
telling
not
him-
back. I gotta go.
I've been telling him, yo, we need to get a fucking group trip out to the Philippines. We got your first experience
Yup.
there with your friends. That would be so fun.
That's mine.
Yeah, I gotta go.
That would be so fun. But also back to like what you guys are talking about. I feel like unless you're from fucking like Manila, you don't really find people from like your town
Well-
or like place here. Like do you that's
I
true.
think it depends. I think people from Bicol and then people from Ilongo is very hard.
Alright,
But, like-
Ilonggo's not a place, bro. Hold on.
What happened?
Ilonggo's not a place.
I
bro.
mean, people from like that region in the Philippines, like Bacolod.
Yeah, but even that, like, I've only ran into like 2 other people here that were from like the same like place as me.
Yeah, me too. I think like where we're from, or like at least where my mom's from, it's really hard. But there are a lot of people from like who are from like Cebu or speak like Bisaya.
Cebu.
Yes,
And,
yes.
like,
I
Cebu,
meet
yeah.
a lot of
People from,
that,
like,
yeah.
The regions that speak like Ilocano.
Yeah,
Like we had
100%.
where I grew up in Jersey City, we had tenants who were from like Ilongo, sorry, wherever they speak Ilocano, and like they would always have people over, and we didn't understand a word they said because like
That's fucking crazy.
it was
yeah.
so different.
Yeah.
But even in my neighborhood, like not everyone was from like straight from Manila.
Yeah. There's also a dialect. Isn't there a dialect that kind of sounds Chinese?
Oh, 100%. I'm sure there is. It's so crazy. Like the Philippines is such a small country, but because of like the way I guess the country is itself is set up in like different islands, like thousands of different islands. Like the way that language like developed throughout, where it's like literally people from like next island to you probably can't understand them just
Yeah.
because of like the dialect like changes down the line. I'm like, that's kind of insane.
Yeah.
I think the way it's like before the Philippines was colonized by the Spanish, it wasn't its own country. Like the like group of islands weren't a country. They were all like different territories or regions. Like they just weren't considered one people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is definitely very diverse in the Philippines. Like you have the northern part of the Philippines that I think like the majority like religion there is like they're Muslim.
Yeah.
No, that's the
Oh,
south.
Mindanao.
Or the south?
The
The
south,
south,
the
yeah.
south of
In
Sorry.
Mindanao, right?
Sorry.
So very heavily like Muslim.
Very devout. Don't fact check us. We're
Don't
just
fact check that.
very young.
Again, we're Filipino Americans. So.
Yeah, we're Filipino American. Don't fact check us.
Oh my God, I have like so many things to talk about. Wait, first thing.
Let's do it.
Before we got colonized, did you hear about how we had like a written language, like bye-bye-in?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. And I'm just sad that that's not, like, if you go to the Philippines now, at least I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any like bye-bye-in language at all.
No, yeah. I mean, like, I'm sure some people know it. Like, the people who were like, their ancestors were like the indigenous people. But yeah, bye-bye-in is like gone. And I know a lot of Filipino Americans and even Filipino. No, I probably don't think Filipinos there want to use it.
I don't think they do.
But
either.
Filipino Americans who are so like, what's the word? Who want to reconnect with their like colonized roots will do like bye-bye-in tattoos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's funny because go ahead, Lolo.
Wait, that's a good idea. I like that.
Like a
idea.
bye-bye-in tattoo? Yeah,
Yeah,
it is a good
that'd
idea.
be badass.
Yeah.
I literally have this one like sister tattoo, and it's like in Greek.
Ooh.
But it's like, I wish we got that in bye-bye-in. That would have been so crazy because
Yeah.
we all have like the same exact one in the same exact area. Like
Guys, next
Oh.
tattoo idea.
Bye-bye-in.
Next tattoo idea,
bye-bye-in.
Bye-bye-in. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, on my Twitter, my name is in
Is
bye-bye-in.
bye-bye-in, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think a lot of Filipinos in the Philippines don't like have the desire.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
sick.
I see that. Like they don't have the desire to reconnect to their pre-colonized
They
roots
don't.
because, like, they don't really learn much about like what the Philippines was like before colonization. And on top of that, they don't like. How do you explain this? Like, the way they learn about like what happened after World War II is like America like saved us from the Japanese, but like and from the Spanish, but like America also colonized us.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure most of our parents don't know that like America colonized us, and we like rejected it for like X amount, like 1 or 2 years, and then we fought back.
Oh, I could speak to this. Dude, so when I went to school in the Philippines, like all like the history textbooks, it always positions America as like, oh my gosh, this beacon of light.
That's
They
crazy.
saved us. Well, what's the general's name? Was it Douglas MacArthur?
Yeah, Douglas
Yeah,
MacArthur.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, they be painting this motherfucker like he Jesus. I'm like,
yeah, it's so bad.
And
But
like, because you're in the Philippines and you're in there, you're not really like thinking about like reconnecting to your culture, because I'm literally surrounded by this
Right.
shit all the time. But like, it's not until like you leave, like you see other things, see other perspectives, because I feel like in the Philippines they feed you the same perspective like over and over and over again. Like everybody is very like, but around the same mindset.
like Western propaganda.
Like Western propaganda, we look at the West, we look at America, and that's just like, oh my God, America.
Yeah.
But like once you leave it and look back in, you're like, hold on, bro, that's like psychotic over there. Like there's so much stuff that is kind of like like it's not known, it's not general like knowledge by like the Filipinos, and I'm just like, hold on, there's a lot of work to be done out here.
Yeah. No, I think one of the major culture shocks that I went through when I first visited the Philippines as a kid was like, they can definitely tell when you're from America, and they will stare at you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they'll like break their neck
100%.
and
Yeah.
stuff. And I remember like little kids coming up to me and my parents and like
Asking for
like,
money,
food
yeah.
or money.
That's sad though.
Oh,
That
that's
sucks.
another thing. It's just like once they like kind of think you're American, suddenly they think you have money. Like,
Yeah.
they think you have money, and then all your like relatives just come up like, oh, meron kayong ano?
Yeah.
Kwarta?
Yeah.
Meron kwarta?
I think like that's also a misconception. Like Filipinos think that people who move here in like to America think like, oh, the lives of Filipino Americans are so good.
Yeah.
But like a lot of them aren't, and it's like still a struggle.
We're fucking hustling.
Yeah, like they're
Hustling.
like they're still hustling, and like not only do you have to take care of yourself here, you have to like send money back home to the Philippines.
100%.
And then,
oh my
like,
God.
Like in the Philippines, to a certain extent, like even if you don't make a lot of money and you're not like that well off, you like have there's a word for it in Tagalog, but someone who helps around the house,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Like a
maid,
helper?
basically.
Like a
Yeah.
maid, like a helper that like basically lives with you.
Yeah, yeah,
But like
yeah.
here in America, like that's expensive. Like you don't no one goes out of their way to pay for that unless you're really rich.
Yeah.
So it's like you do a lot yourself here. And yeah, like to a certain extent, like the quality of life is a lot better, but yeah, it is still hard.
My mom is just like too nice of a fucking person. My mom, like, anytime anybody like talks to her on Facebook or something, like asking for something, if she was like kind of friends with them or anything, she would like feel bad. Oh my gosh, I need to help them. I need to help them.
Oh
And
my
I'd be
God.
like, mom, who the fuck is that?
Literally.
Don't do that. Like we are
Wait.
out here struggling too. Like we gotta like, obviously if it's like a close family friend,
Yeah.
like of course it's like random people. They just see her in America and they're like, can we have some?
Oh, they have money to give us. Also, it's funny, like my grandma was like that. So they moved here in like the 70s, and then like during that time, a lot of Filipinos were coming here to America, like immigrating, trying to find work. And my like up my house, like my family house, the one I live in now, was like one room was like people just coming in and out, like rent like a new roommate like every other month.
Oh shit.
Because my grandma will like house people at home, like, and then my dad hated it. So my grandparents were like that, like just giving help to anyone who needed it, and then I think that like traumatized my dad to a certain extent, to like where we wouldn't like when people would need a lot of money or like help, like we wouldn't do it unless we really know them, and, like unless they're family.
That's a good boundary.
I think I'll like give a counter argument in defense to like these people because I feel like we're like pulling them to the ground.
Yeah, no,
But
100%.
But like I think it's 'cause like the value of money is different. So like a little here will go a really long
That's
way
true,
in the
yeah.
Philippines, right?
Yeah.
So to a certain extent, I think like and you have the means to do it. Sure, like you do whatever you want with your money.
I feel like that's also one of like the beautiful things about being Filipino is that there's a sense of like kind of like community and friendship. I feel like Filipinos like really like care about each other, and they feel like responsible for like also like what I guess our acquaintances and our friends are doing. Like we want like each other to kind of like, you know, do better. So I feel like that's like the good part of it. I feel like it's like rooted deep in Filipino like values to kind of like care about each other, I guess.
I think that's like we're a lot different from other Asian countries, but that's like the collectivist mindset of like Filipinos
It
like
is.
seeping into the culture. I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. I was gonna add that like it reflects back to when people are always like, Filipinos are so kind.
Yeah, like very hospitable. Like people. I think Anthony Bourdain said this or something. Like Filipinos like are the happiest people in the world, and they have like the least to like
Yeah.
to work with. And that's true to a certain extent. Like people, like Filipinos are very happy.
Yeah, very happy, very community driven. I mean, I feel like that carries over to like, I guess here in America too. Like a lot of like Filipino Americans, like we all end up like kind of like pulling closer to each other.
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
know
yeah.
when we were growing up in Jersey City, all the Filipinos like knew each other in
Yeah.
the city. Like it was crazy.
In some way,
In
like
some way or form.
if you know someone, like everyone is connected somehow in Jersey
Right.
City. Like I literally, so when my parent, like when we moved there, or when my family had moved there before I was born, the street I live on wasn't called what it is now, but like I think in the 80s or 90s, like the mayor of the Philippines like visited, the mayor of Manila visited and called my street Manila Avenue
Oh.
because there are so many
shit.
Filipinos that moved and immigrated to that area.
I think it's still called that, no?
It's
It
still
is
called that, yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
like so many Filipinos immigrated to that area, and like my grandparents were the first.
Oh, that's so nice.
So yeah, it's like Filipinos really find community really easily. Like there's always
There's always community. Like I think that's a really like pretty part about being Filipino is that
Yeah.
there's always like a community, and it's always like always end up just like meshing all together. And just aside, did we ever
Yeah.
tell you the story about how we lived like 2 blocks? away
No,
from
I
each
was
other
literally
on
just gonna
Manila?
ask, like, how'd you guys meet?
so growing up, Lorenzo and I had like in middle school and for me, high school, when I had like met some Filipino kids in my high school, they were like, when they found out where I lived, they were like, "Do you know Lorenzo?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." He's like, "He lives on Manila Ave, like 2 blocks away from you." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I've never met him before."
Yeah, because in like middle school and high school, like our mutual friends, like our friends would always come over like my place. We would always like after school or something, they'd come, hang out, and like they never mentioned it. They never mentioned him to me.
Yeah.
It's like I just didn't know. And so now, like for context, me and him, we like hang out literally all the fucking time. Like,
Literally,
Yeah,
this
they're
is like
always
my
together.
boyfriend.
it was basically my fucking boyfriend.
This is my,
like,
we literally, like, before we met Lavette today,
Yeah.
we were on a date. We were just,
we were just on a date, bro. Like
we
me
were
and the bro was just on the date. We were
walking
eating
around
pizza together.
Williamsburg,
No, yeah.
trying on clothes. Like, we hold each other's bags when we're gonna go to the,
Try on clothes
when we
and
try on
stuff.
clothes. Like,
I was literally like, I can't just have Chris or I can't just have Lolo. Like, I have to have Chris and Lolo
like
for the
Yeah.
pod. Like,
And that's so crazy because like we hang out all the time now, and we literally live 2 blocks away from each other, and we did not start hanging out with each other until I moved to Queens.
yeah. So
oh shit.
it was crazy. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, if you believe in destiny or whether, like, that happened on purpose. Like, we weren't meant to be friends until, like, after.
Till after we didn't live next to each other anymore.
But yeah, like, that's the community part. Like, you just never know
Yeah.
when you're gonna meet, like, a good friend.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. Like, Filipinos are everywhere. And when there's, like, a
Everywhere.
decent amount of Filipinos in one place, like, you'll have a community.
Yeah. That's true. I had like also somewhat of a small like Filipino community in my hometown, but like they all went to like the magnet schools in my hometown. So like they all went to like really smart schools and stuff. And I went to a public school because my dad's he was like a tennis coach there. So he was like, you have to play tennis for the school. So like, but I was never able to really like connect with Filipino like other Filipinos. And also I grew up in like such a weird like environment where I was the only minority because it was like predominantly Hispanic.
Yeah.
So like in some way like I grew up kind of hating being Asian. I hated being Filipino. Until I literally moved here and I was like having this conversation actually with my mom about how I wish my family had that opportunity to grow up somewhere or like grow up in the States somewhere very diverse so that they're able to like surround themselves with all of that.
Like,
You know.
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like, that's something that Lolo and I definitely grew up with. Like, I don't take that for granted. Like, I could count on one hand how many like white classmates I had from middle school
Yeah.
to like high school, and then even college. It couldn't have been more than like 20 white classmates.
Right.
Dude,
Like,
yes.
We
Wait.
only live in, like, we live not only in the most diverse city in the nation, or like we grew up.
Yeah, it was like I know one of the years we lived there, it was like literally the most like on census, it was like the most diverse city in America.
Oh shit.
And then even in college, like Lolo and I went to like one of the most diverse colleges in the country.
That's so nice.
So it's so weird because like I feel like I got reverse culture shock going into the
I
workforce
got reverse culture
and
shock.
just being surrounded by white people. And to this day, I am very uncomfortable if most of the people in the room are white.
Yeah.
I want to be able to interact with everybody.
No, 100%. No, I still feel that way too because it's not that I necessarily grew up with a lot of white people. It was just like a different other minority.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I also do feel crazy when I'm with a bunch of white people.
Yeah.
Like,
I was for sure culture shock because obviously I moved here straight to Jersey City, and so I'm like, oh, this is what America's like. It's just all the different people everywhere, and then like you kind of go like basically anywhere else that's not
Yeah.
like New York City or like Jersey City where we grew up, and you're just like, there's not that much diversity out
yeah,
here. Huh?
yeah.
And
Before we start talking about fashion, I kind of want to talk about like what you all think between like Asians versus Asian Americans.
Okay, this is interesting because in college, I was pretty heavily involved in like the Filipino club in college, and not only like my college's Filipino club.
Did you say you were like the VP?
So I
He was
was
the
like
president.
I was like
he
president
was the president.
We got
for
the
2
president
years,
here.
and then like
President.
my club specifically would host a. So my club was part of a intercollegiate club.
Okay.
So it's like all the Filipino organizations in New York City and in North Jersey. So it was like 25 Filipino clubs, and then you meet a lot of people, mostly Filipino Americans, like, and a diverse set of Filipino Americans in the
Oh,
sense
yeah.
that like some are very in tune
Mhm.
with like Filipino culture,
Mm.
and then some are very like whitewashed. Like you'll have someone who doesn't understand any Tagalog,
Oh,
and then someone
okay.
who like knows like can speak Tagalog fluently. So I think it's weird. Like Filipinos in that sense are very diverse. I think like when you think of like Chinese Americans and Korean Americans on the East Coast, like most of them can speak like Mandarin or Cantonese or
Right.
like Korean, and are in tune and have their own communities. But for Filipinos, it's a bit different, I think, because of like that like fetishization of like Western culture,
Oh, I
and
get
like
you.
it's just easier for Filipinos to, what's the word? Assimilate
Yeah.
into like American culture.
And it's so funny because like obviously he was the president of like the whole club, and he was like in like all these events,
Yeah.
and I would just come. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to be a part of this because it was low key very culty.
Oh.
It was extremely culty, or like I don't know. It was weird. I don't know how
Do
to.
you agree
describe
that it was culty?
I
Chris?
I don't know if it was culty, but I think to a certain extent, it can be like cheesy and head ass, especially
Badass. It was
especially
badass.
to Filipinos who were born in the Philippines, like Lorenzo.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
like you don't have a desire to be in tune with your culture because you grew up there,
Oh, I
right?
see what you're
Like
saying.
you
Yes.
only have known, or like Filipino Americans have only known being Filipino through like the American lens, especially if you've never been there before. So it's like-
So, Lorenzo, to you, it was like, why are you guys doing this?
No,
like,
yes, that I'm pretty sure that's literally is just because like I'm from the Philippines. This is all I see, and I'm like, damn, y'all just want more Philippines.
Yeah.
And so I guess in that mindset where like I kind of want to see like what else is out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to only hang out with straight up Filipinos all the time because that was kind of what it was. Where I say
It was,
kinda
yeah.
salty is because they literally only like hung out with each other.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Mm.
To be fair, as like much as I shit on being in it and being present in it, like I did it for a reason. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Like it really made me feel closer to my culture.
I love that.
And like so we would host a pageant every year,
Mm.
and it'd be like a theme related to like the Philippines, or like Filipino culture, and it was so cool. Like it was like a couple thousand people would go to the pageant every year, and you see like all the titos and titas like crying, and then like you would
Aw.
cry, like
The pageants were
seeing
cute. The pageants were
like
super
you would
cute.
cry seeing these girls' performances. So it was nice. Like I know I did it because like I wanted to be as close to my culture as possible.
Yeah.
And you could see that like people were like super passionate about it. That was kind of what was cool about it. Is like people really tried their hearts out for it. Like during these pageants, like these girls would like do so much. Like you could see they put in the work to it. So it really like meant something to them. So it was actually like that was
That's
a
so
good part of
nice.
it.
So yeah, while I think Filipino Americans are more likely to be whitewashed, like a lot of them still do like try their best to like be in tune with the culture. I feel like I didn't answer your question though.
No. You know, you kind of helped and you added some context. I think it was more so like going in the sense of like, do you feel like Asians that live in Asia think that we're less Asian?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Lorenzo, do you think that
Which-
we're less Asian?
Personally, me, I don't think so. I never like felt that way, but I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And like, are we less Asian? Yeah, I think we're less Asian.
Really? You
Like
think
in the
so?
sense of like, if we go to an Asian country, it doesn't have to be the Philippines, because I think in the Philippines would be like pretty
Obvious.
obvious. Like
Obvious.
like if we go to an Asian country, like the way we traverse the country will be different.
Yeah.
Like we've all been to Japan before, right?
Yeah.
Like it's very clearly different that we're American,
Yeah. I get
right?
what
It's
you
obvious
mean.
that we're American, and even in the Philippines, like people will know that we're American
Yeah.
because there are just some cultural norms that we're not aware of.
Yes, the cultural
That's true.
values are so different in Asia. I feel like even though it's all different countries in Asia, like there's like these set of like cultural values that are like pretty like similar everywhere, and I feel like it's just the opposite of how it is in America, where in America we feel like very free, very like expressive of ourselves. Like we kind of do like our own thing, do kind of whatever we want, where like as in Asia you're kind of expected to like assimilate to the masses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
you're not supposed to stand out
You have to like,
at all.
I don't know. Well, okay, yeah, I think that's true in some countries, but also like you have to like move and like live your life with regard to everyone else around you, which is different from here, where it's like less like it's individual. Like I don't know, you
Individual.
learn this in like
It's
in
very
sociology. It's like
Yeah.
individualistic. Yeah.
I like to believe that I am as Asian as the Asians get in Asia.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you guys made some points. And also I remember growing up and going to the Philippines and like being 6 years old, and my titos would be like, Lavette, are you American or are you Filipino? And I would be like, I'm Filipino. Like, what? And then they would be like, nah, no, you're not. You're American. You're American. And like to this day, it's kind of followed where like, I'm trying to speak Tagalog to them, and they're like laughing at me. You know?
Yeah, like I'm more comfortable. Go ahead, Lolo.
No, that's the part of it I kind of hate, because it's like, yo, you're trying to like be close to your culture, and then it's like, obviously they don't mean anything by it. Like, it's all just like jokes and stuff. But like, why are you making fun of someone who's trying to like get closer to your culture?
Like I am more comfortable speaking Tagalog with my Filipino friends than I am with my parents.
Oh my God, yes.
Like my brother and I will speak Tagalog to each other, like some fucked up Taglish. like it'd be like, I don't know, like tingnan mo yung tao,
Yeah.
like over there.
Yeah.
Like yung tao with, and it's like, you know, not fully Tagalog. It's like Taglish.
Yeah.
But if I did that to my parents, they'd like roast the fuck out of me.
You're right. Yeah.
100%. That I'd never tried to speak Tagalog to my parents at all, because I know damn well they're gonna be like, yo, just say it in English. Just say it in English. I'm like, I bet. Okay,
Yeah.
I guess.
No, I literally speak more Tagalog with Amari, who's not even Filipino.
But he's good though. Like you taught
Amari
him.
is
He's
good.
learning.
Yeah, he's learning.
Certified.
Shout out
Certified. He's getting more Filipino.
Amari's getting so Filipino. I feel like there's a good transition to be had here. You know, the Filipinos is known for the swagapino.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
yes,
Wait,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Let's talk about that
The
first.
swagapino era.
Oh, I guess like we could talk about that.
Yes.
Like, okay, we'll talk about that before we go into fashion. It's a good like segue.
It is. It's a good segue.
I think Filipino Americans specifically, we could talk about like they definitely run into identity crisis. Where like I've seen a lot of Filipinos lean one like both ways, where it's like they really are whitewashed and are in tune with like American culture, whatever you think American culture is, like white American culture, or they like are very associate with like black American culture.
Oh.
So
I
it's
see.
like, I promise you, like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Like most Filipinos who have grown up like in New York, in Jersey City, in like LA, SF, like San Jose, where there's like a lot of like black people, like they for sure said the N-word before.
Yeah.
And then like
100%.
past high school, past college, like, you know, Filipinos love streetwear and they love like hip hop and they love dancing. Right. So Filipinos run into this problem a lot where they have identity crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't feel Filipino enough and they have to attach themselves to a different like American culture to feel like they belong.
Wait, really? You think that's because they don't feel Filipino enough?
I don't know if it's because they don't feel Filipino enough. Maybe it's just like to fit in.
It is.
It's
I think it's
to
just
fit
more-
in. Yeah.
Most of my classmates are Hispanic or black, and so what I end up attaching myself to is literally whatever is just around me. And so to fit in, I was kind of like just very into like, oh, to fit in here, I have to listen to rap.
In the Philippines, I think if you go there and you say like Filipinos are known like to sing, they'll agree with you. But I don't think they'll be like, oh, Filipinos are known to dance. I think that's pretty specific to being a Filipino American.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because like West Coast specifically, like Jabberwockies and like, you know,
Yeah.
America's Best Dance Crew, like Filipinos have done that because they're like associating themselves with like black culture.
Oh, that makes sense. Actually,
And also like association is like a lot of Filipinos appropriate it too.
Yeah.
Let's put that out there.
Yeah. I didn't think about it that way. I feel like I've always saw like a typical like the Philippines or like Filipinos as like people that love to sing and dance.
yeah.
But I think I got like kind of desensitized to like what you mentioned, like with like Jabberwockies and stuff. Like I completely forgot like that all happened.
That's all like very rooted in like black culture that Filipinos kind of appropriated.
Right.
Which is so funny. And it's like another like thing that Filipinos are so big into that I feel like was rooted from like black culture was like sneakerheads.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right?
like
Have you seen that meme of like where it's like you're at a Filipino's house and like, oh sorry, I don't have that much to eat, and it's like their fridge and it's just like a bunch of sneakers.
yeah, exactly. No, like Filipinos love streetwear. They love like
Love streetwear.
like skate culture. They love basketball culture. Like Filipinos love basketball
Love
culture.
basketball.
Yeah.
That's like not even just a Filipino American thing. It's like a Philippine like in the Philippines thing. Like
Like, dude, like growing up, like I had to have the new Kobe's every year release. I needed them.
no, yeah.
Them at the crib.
Like in our like hometown, like the people like the black and Hispanic people would make fun of us because like they're like all these Filipinos, all they know how to do is like dribble and have big ass calves. Like these short ass Filipinos just no, literally like these short ass Filipinos, all they do is dribble and have big calves, and like they're short as shit,
No,
which is true.
it's
Like I got big ass calves.
no, that's
Yeah.
very true. I also have big ass calves, but I feel like
The thumbnail should be our calves.
yeah.
Yes.
No, that'd be a crazy thumbnail. I'm not gonna lie. But also like so that kind of segues us into the fashion things because like I low-key got started of it because of like the basketball culture. It
So you
started
were a
at the
swagapino.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say I was a swagapino like that. I was just
No,
like,
I was.
just-
I had a.
I just played a lot of basketball. And
You
I'm
guys
like,
have to send me
I wanna
photos
just-
so I can put it over.
I don't think I have any photos.
Me neither, but
back in the day.
But we'll believe it.
Well,
yeah, believe it. Just like just know I had a snapback. Know that
Yeah,
like-
that wasn't me.
for both Lolo and I, the reason why we got into fashion in the first place was like streetwear.
Streetwear.
Like,
Mm.
Not even streetwear. Like for me, it was basketball. Like basketball shoes. Like I needed them new Kobe's. I needed those.
Wait, did you play basketball?
Yeah. I played a
shit.
lot.
Lolo's low key nice. He'd like wash any of you guys in
Stop,
basketball.
Stop,
Oh,
chill, chill.
what? That's
Don't come
crazy. We
knocking.
gotta get you on the court.
Oh, chill. Don't come knock. I 1v1 you though. Chill. I'm playing. Not really. Anyways, but yeah, I started like, it's really through shoes. Where like all the
Yeah.
time I had to have the new shoes, and then you'd go to school. You'd have to go. You'd have to flex on them. Like get on the new basketball court with the new shoes. Where did yours start? Was
I
it-
mean, like mine was streetwear for sure. Like in high school, like, well, at that time, it's like basketball culture and streetwear culture was like still was very like ingrained or like almost the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you go line up for sneakers or you like skip school to go like Supreme on a
The
Thursday.
Supreme drops on the Thursdays.
Supreme
went
drop
crazy.
on a like you would go to the city and skip school, and like try to get the new Supreme drop and stuff like that. And then that like a lot of people have like found high fashion and stuff like that through streetwear. Cause like we grew up in the era
Yes.
of like following like Kanye and Virgil Abloh.
Oh my gosh! When
hear
ASAP
ya.
Mob came out and I learned what Rick Owens was, it was over. It
Yeah,
was
like
over.
all these people
Like-
again, all these people who were like what's the word? Like popular influential in like streetwear culture, like popular people who what's the word? Like
They literally affected the zeitgeist.
they affected the zeitgeist.
Influencers?
Not influencers, but like people like Kanye, like ASAP Rocky, like Virgil Abloh. Again,
Oh.
these are all like
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
popular trailblazers, and they're black people. So like again,
Yeah.
that's like ties into like
it
the
ties into like
identity thing.
100%. Because like, why the fuck was I in high school walking into my high school class in some Rick Owens pants and some fucking Kobe's on? Like it was ridiculous. That was stupid as fuck.
And then yeah, like I would walk into high school with like Adidas Ultra Boosts, which were like the shit back then.
Oh my god.
And then
Ultra Boost crazy.
We'd all be like trying to get Supreme or like Stussy, Kith, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, we would be in the trenches, like camping out overnight at places and stuff. Just because that's how it develops, right? It starts off like for me, obviously shoes, and it was streetwear, and then you just keep hearing about these other things and these other things, and then you start developing like your own taste, and it just keeps like branching out there. It's really like mental illness. If I'm being so serious, about
Starts at a young age.
it's mental illness. It starts at a young age and it just keeps branching out, and it never ends. It never ends.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
And here you guys are now.
Here we are now.
Can you guys do a fit check?
Oh, you can go ahead.
You want me to go
Go
first?
ahead, bro.
First.
Okay, today we'll go bottom up. So we don't have shoes on because it's an Asian household, as
Right.
it should be.
Yes.
As it
I
should
got
be.
socks,
But what were they? What were they though? What are
the shoes were like these double zip GmbH boots. That's like a fashion brand out of Berlin.
Bro, I forget.
It's something in Europe, but yeah, they're very good designers, I think, in my opinion. So I had
think in your opinion, yes.
yes, I had those boots on. These pants are GU X Rock collab. They're
Oh,
just like
fuck
some
yeah.
black trousers with like a button at the
so
bottom. You
good.
can split. And then this shirt is from Depop. It's actually not mine, and it's like some random Asian brand that like I promise you I'm not gatekeeping. I just don't know the brand because it's not my shirt.
Yeah.
But it's just a normal button-up shirt with the pockets are the buttons you can't see them because the placket is like covered.
Hitting buttons.
And
We love
then
those.
You can cinch it. I had it cinched earlier in the day.
Yeah, that's a really
So
cute
you
part.
can tie it. So yeah, that's what I have. my hat is Options. Shout out Options Austin. It's
Shout
one
out
of my
Options Austin.
Twitter
Options
mutuals.
Austin.
It's out of Texas.
Oh shit! Hey.
Shout out
And
to
then
Texas.
I have a ring that I got in the East Village. A ring that I got.
Yo.
I got a ring that I got in
No, it's okay. They're probably not Filipino. So
in
it's fine.
Japan. This is 1997 APC. This is Wenjulu. It represents a cloud, and it's in collaboration with Mona Jewelry.
Hell yeah.
That's my outfit.
Contacts.
Contacts.
No glasses. Vape.
Shout out to vape.
All right, Lolo, go ahead.
Alright, well,
I'll give you room.
obviously, I
Lolo,
also
it's your
don't
turn.
have shoes on, but the shoes I had on, they're like this Japanese, like very artisanal bootmaker that I just recently heard about through
Yeah.
a friend. It's called Rolling Dub Trio, and it was like
Mm.
some boots in collaboration with Isamu Kariyama, Backlash,
Mm.
in full horse butt leather. They pretty. They upstairs, but I can't show them right now. My pants, Gianfranco Ferre, like these like really like flowy pants. Issimiyaki Hakama.
So good.
I'm super into,
What?
like, the flowy. I'm super into like the flowy like stuff right now. You see that?
be free.
I like being free.
He
I
likes
didn't know
to
that
be
was
free.
Issy.
Yeah, the please say like Hakama. Have like I don't know if like any of y'all were on like fashion YouTube, but like Avery Ginsburg, geared towards gear. This is one of his like old brands.
Fucking
Stats-
Shout out
Loser.
Avery.
Avery, shout out Avery Ginsburg. And let's see. So this ring and these two rings were just like random gifts. Random gifts from like my parents. So I just wear them that. And this is also a Wenjulu ring.
Hell
Where we
yeah. Do you guys have the same ring?
No, we have
Nah,
actually have
the ring is
different rings.
actually from a set that they made.
Yeah, it was a set like for clouds.
They made characters, and like the characters have
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
their
cute.
own like personality.
Yeah.
So like we were like, oh, like we should go with ones that like look like and like are our personality.
Yeah, the ones that like kind of like call out to us, so we both got like rings and
Yeah.
stuff from their collection. And also like this one too is from them. This one too. So that's really like the family. Shout out Wenjulu. And then I was
So good.
I was a big Frank fanboy, so of course I have a Homer chain.
Hell yeah.
Big fanboy.
Where do you guys get your inspiration from?
Oh, I can go first because I answered this question in that interview I did.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I think there's no main inspiration that we get it from.
Mm-hmm.
I think inspiration can come from anybody, like literally like random people on the street. Like
Literally
earlier,
anyone.
Lorenzo and I were just like walking around, and the best outfits that we saw and noticed that were just old
Old people.
Oh hell yeah.
on the street.
They
like,
just be throwing that shit on effortlessly.
they
and
throw
I'm like,
whatever they want
oh
on,
my god, you're so fire.
and I
Yeah.
think that comes with time because like obviously they have
Your whole life.
their whole life
They're
to
old,
like
they're
figure out their
wise.
personal style and things that they're comfortable wearing, but also looks good on them. So like inspiration can come from anybody.
Yeah.
Like it can come from your friends, like the barista, you know, like just random people on the street, like on the train, and then inspiration or like the motivation to wear whatever you want definitely comes from like not only those people, like but people we followed growing up,
100%.
like Virgil, like ASAP.
Virgil, ASAP, again, like it's back to that. Like that's kind of where it started, and it keeps going. And these people are still, or they're still in the fucking public limelight
Right.
for the most part. But also,
R.I.P. Virgil.
R.I.P. Virgil.
R.I.P.
Amazing person,
Virgil.
But like at the same time, I guess you just keep growing, and especially in our time of like heavily like social media,
Yeah.
like you see so many things, and it's just like I guess up to you to attach yourself to certain things that call out to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess that's just like all the inspiration. Everything around you can be inspiration
Every day,
Yeah.
I think like
if you look at it that way.
there are influencers and micro influencers that like you can just take everything and then like okay contextualize it into yourself, like how does this fit into me, like how can I pull this off for myself, because like you can't like copy and paste something
Of
that someone
course,
wears.
yeah.
It's not gonna look good on you.
Yeah.
And I think that's always how it develops. It's just like at first you just start trying things. You see things around you and you're like, I want to try that.
Yeah.
And then you throw it on you and you're like, hold on. This is not fitting the same.
Right.
The fit is not fitting. And then that's just how it keeps going. It's like
Yeah.
you keep developing it until you find something that actually fits the way you want it to. And then you know, oh, this part of an outfit works on me in these ways. How does this other part work on me in a certain way too? And you just keep going. It's literally just like unending like journey. I also feel like I'm very into like a story. You know what I mean? Like if you feed me a story that I like kind of like align with, that also kind of helps in like inspiration, where there are certain brands that like
Oh, like that'll sell you to get
That'll
it.
sell you to get it. And I think that kind of also like feeds into me. Like I really love like Comme des Garçons.
Oh yeah.
I
Same.
love it. Like Ray, I think is a genius. It's all this, the story of her brand. It's always about disrupting norms, going this other way. Like, oh, everyone's telling you this fashion should be this way. Here's my take on it. And like,
yeah.
I don't care how you feel about it, but like, this is what I think, and it's always like very
with like her
heavily-
silhouettes
Yes,
and stuff.
exactly. Like it's always boundary pushing, and I'm like, wait, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I guess that's also like where inspiration kind of comes from.
I want to spin the question to you because you could also dress really well.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Levette be killing it. I
Yeah.
swear to God. Oh my
Sometimes.
God.
We gotta spin the question back to you.
Every time I see Levette, I'm
What-
like, yo, why are
like-
you mogging me?
Yeah, like what are
Why
your
are you mogging me right now?
what are your
No.
inspirations? Actually, what is like fit check also as well?
Hell no.
Like-
honestly, this is a very basic outfit.
It's okay. It still works. It looks good.
Okay,
Yes.
well, socks. I was wearing Miu Miu platforms earlier. And then these are Uniqlo chino pants.
Nice.
And then this is also Goop. And then I have rings also.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So super straightforward though. Sorry.
No,
But I feel
you're
like
killing it.
I feel like my inspiration mostly comes from, and I've said this before so many times, I feel like I try to not like go towards a lot of like Western
too.
like fashion standards. Like a lot about how like people dress in Asia really captures my attention. Like every time I'm always like, oh, I'm probably like so dripped out right now, but then I go to fucking Japan and you're like, oh, actually I look stupid as hell.
Dude,
like
in Japan, it's like
Japan is
the bare
insane.
minimum in Japan will
Yeah.
still mog every person you see in
100%.
in like in the US. It's
Yeah.
so crazy. They have such a good base understanding of clothes and how clothes should fit you.
Even people who aren't very like into fashion, I just feel like the sense of style there is
right.
like, elevated.
so
It's
good.
on a different level. It's like it was so insane. It was so funny because when I went there in like 2023, I was like kind of getting bored of like fashion and stuff. I'm like,
Okay, yeah.
I'm getting like pretty bored. Like everything just doesn't feel exciting. And then I went to Japan and I'm looking around. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
going
It's
on?
so
over
crazy.
here? Wait. What he wearing? What she wearing? How is she wearing that? Oh, I see
Yeah.
what she did there.
Yeah.
And it like kind of sparked something again in me. We're like, I just want to go do shit. Just wear random shit, try
Yeah.
new shit. Like, it's so crazy. It's
Not
a crazy
only
experience.
not only is it like they can dress functionally, like it works for their lifestyle because like where we've been in Japan, it's like Tokyo, Osaka, like big city. It's functional, but it also looks really good.
Yeah.
And like I guess that's what we were talking about. Like inspiration come from everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
And Amari is barely getting into fashion, and I remember he's always like saying like, oh, like people in Soho dress so good, and I'm always like, you went to Japan, like were you not paying attention? Like people in Japan dress so much better than anyone that you're ever gonna see walking down
Yes.
Soho.
You know what I think it is also? Like, I see it a lot. It's also because the trend cycle in Japan, it's not that it's so ahead. I think it's that
Slower.
it's slower.
Oh,
So, like, people,
okay.
So, like, trends don't really, like, you know, like, take over. Like, here in America, like, they see on TikTok, oh, we got to do that.
Oh my God, yes.
Mob wife aesthetic. We doing that now.
Oh my God, yes.
Where, like, in Japan, because the trend cycle isn't, like, that crazy, like, people have the time to, like, really, like, refine one thing and do this one thing really well. And so they just, like, keep working on it until it becomes to this level of, like, kind of style where they're not just, like, hopping and then, like, learning this new style. So
Yeah.
I think that's one.
I
big thing
literally
about
talked
it.
about this briefly also in like my other episodes. What do you guys think about trends?
Trends.
What do I think about trends? Like
Go ahead.
more specifically, like I guess what do you mean? Like because in New York, it's really easy to hop on a trend and wear it because you're being seen, it's popular. It's like what okay.
Yeah. So like, you know, those Adidas shoes were big for a while and then everyone got them. And then like ballet flats were big for a while. Everyone got that also. It almost feels as though like because how fast trends are, like people are not able to grab an item just because they like it and because it actually suits
100%.
their identity and their
Yeah,
wardrobe.
yeah.
Like they're just getting it because it's like the next best hot thing.
And
Yeah,
people
I think-
don't even have time to think about whether they like it or not. They just see it
Yeah.
already, and they're like, "I need that. Like, it looks good on them. I'm not even gonna think about it. Grab
Yeah.
it."
I think
yeah.
especially in Soho, if you're walking around, people largely dress. Well, I guess in general, people largely dress for other people
To be seen.
to be seen. Yeah, and I don't think. Okay, also like you're not like people don't fully dress for themselves. That's also wrong. But I think it's people in those areas will dress to be seen and like wear things that like are trendy because it's easy, right? It's easy to like go see something on TikTok, see it looks good on one person and go
Yeah.
buy it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Because like things like sambas and like baggy jeans and like a crop hoodie or a crop shirt is easy to wear. You just throw it on. You don't have to think much about it. Um, but I think it is kind of damaging because like it how fast trends move in Western culture, like it's like accelerating consumerism. Like you're buying and
heavily
buying
Oh
and
my God,
buying.
related to
yes.
capitalism. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
I think trends happen because of capitalism.
Yes.
Like
yes.
people want to sell clothes. They want to make money. They have to do it by putting out more stuff,
Yeah,
more
yeah,
and more
yeah.
stuff. And back on like that trends thing, I feel like it depends on your like disposition for like what you're wearing. So obviously there are people who are like they wear things because they want to be seen or perceived a certain way, like purely by other people, which is where I think trends like kind of come in. Because obviously like, oh, you hop on this trend, people are going to notice, they're going to look at you a little bit more, versus people who like kind of are wearing things because they're like they're connected to it, or like they see, or this is how they see themselves, this is how
Right.
they want to see themselves, so we're like it's more internal.
Yeah.
So I think where like those people are more like likely to not like buy into trends, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like depends on like person to person, but personally like I'm not very like, I don't think I'm very like in trends per se, but I'm not shitting on anyone who's on trends, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like
never.
it's fun.
I think to a certain extent, we all wear things that are trendy. Um, or like the way we dress is like quote unquote trendy.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Um,
I see what you mean when it comes to like for example, skirts over pants are getting really big again.
yeah.
And
Or
I do that.
or like
I
silhouette
do that
and
too.
like a proportion, right? Like flowy, like big silhouettes are popular right now. Like proportions where it's like I think specifically like dressing for your proportions is not a trend. I think it's just something that everyone is learning now.
Yeah.
There are some things that are trends and start off as trends, but just end up becoming like part of the zeitgeist and like things that everyone will follow. Like in Japan, I guess, like that's like not a trend. Like everyone is, or most people have a good understanding of their proportions and what silhouettes look good on them. My hot take though
Yeah, what's up?
is that I don't think something is actually a trend until it leaves big fashion cities. So
I
like
get what you mean.
like everyone in Bushwick and like Williamsburg a couple summers ago were wearing like jorts, a soccer jersey, sambas, and like like ankle, like high socks past your ankle. I don't think it's a trend until people who were like in the middle of nowhere, like Ohio or Texas, are wearing it.
I hear you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Right?
I also agree with you.
Because,
I think I like kind of agree with you, because I mean it can't be a trend if it like sticks, right? Because if it sticks, then obviously it's not just a trend, it's like something that's actually like kind of part of the fashion zeitgeist now. But if it does leave, that means it was really just a fad. So I think I can see like where you're coming
Yeah.
from.
yeah,
Yeah, and I agree with you. I've always thought about it that way though. Like I feel like you don't see fashion in like, cause like I come from a small town. I see what you mean, because I will see things like what people are wearing now in New York, and then I'll go visit Texas
a couple months later or a
sometimes
year
like
later.
6 months, year
Yeah.
from now, and they are finally wearing it.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
finally
yeah,
onto that.
No, it's interesting to see because I feel like in New York, especially the people who like are in like Brooklyn or like fuck English, Bushwick or like the LES, like
Yeah.
they are quote unquote the people that are starting these trends,
Mm-hmm,
right? Because like they're the influencers and like they got it from a celebrity
right.
or just something like from like Japanese influencers, like Asian influencers, and here like people are picking up on it in New York and starting it, and then it goes to other places in the country.
We were talking about how people wear things to kind of be seen, but people also wear things to kind of like, I guess, associate themselves with certain groups. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
of course.
in a way it's also like people wear things to kind of if they want to be like part of like certain community.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like you would never catch us hanging out with like some guy from like a FIDI worker.
I forgot who I was talking to about this, and I was talking to them about like, yo, at my job, if I see another Patagonia vest, I'm ending it all. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. But then they were talking to me like, don't you think it's kind of like cute that like all these like finance people are kind of like they realize this Patagonia vest is kind of a symbol of this little community they're part of, and it's like
I gotta
oh
get
my gosh,
one. I gotta cop one.
they associate themselves with this,
Yeah.
and they like that's what calls out to them, so they wear it. So
Yeah.
it's, like, it's very kind of community
It's
driven.
it's like part of like the like finance and accounting culture. It's like they honestly like play into the meme now. They're like,
play
oh
into
shit, I have it. Like this is me. Like this
Yeah.
is like
they're like this is actually me.
not like okay, maybe like we don't think it looks good,
Yeah.
but
Would you guys still like talk to me if I started wearing like finance bro stuff?
Yeah, I don't think I would.
I don't know about that one.
No, of course I would. I'm like, damn, Lavelle finance, bro.
Or if I started wearing like like the blue denim jeans with the white like shoes and like the black top.
Oh my god.
We might have to get out of here. Right
Yeah,
now.
I think we have to get out of here.
No.
Well, I saw about like 4 groups of those people like out in Williamsburg earlier. Oh
Every
god.
time he would talk.
Like, do you guys feel like you guys have been dressed with the times? Like, for example, like did you guys go through like an alternative phase and like with the cuffed pants?
Oh my God.
And like the Vans.
Oh my god. Oh
Okay,
my
maybe.
god.
Let me
Maybe they
think.
stayed in Swagapino. You guys stayed in
I
the
think-
Swagapino realm.
That transition was like not cuff pants, but like Converses and like the transition from streetwear to like wearing Dickies and Converses and like
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain like that type of style, but
Would you say alternative? I feel like that's such a weird way to say it, though.
you know what
What's,
it
like,
is?
Alt kid, like
It's indie.
indie.
Like
Indie.
if you like saw your like a random like Bushwick dude in like Converses and like a Detroit jacket,
Yes.
like a
yes,
Carhartt
yes.
jacket, and then like
That's literally-
Converses.
Yeah.
That's like what I was dressed in like freshman sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally how Amari dressed before he moved here.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know what the word for it is. I kind of want to call it like the meta. It's the meta.
It's the meta. Most
Most effective
effective
tactics
tactic available. Yes.
It's like
yes.
you see it, like you think, oh, it look kind of good. You know what? Let's just do that all the time.
If you can't tell, once upon a time we were
We were
gamers.
we were gamers. We were playing Valorant, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, get on Fortnite.
Get
Oh.
on Fortnite. Get on Fortnite. Let's get on
I
Fortnite.
had a point. I forgot what I was gonna say though.
But I could keep going. Like there was
Okay,
like that
okay.
evolution of like back in the day. I don't know if like you remember this, but like it was when like Fear of God was like coming out.
No, 2015. I was still like heavily streetwear. I was dressing indie like 2017 to 2019 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, where like the Dickies.
It was,
everyone
like,
wearing the Dickies, little
Maybe
cuffs,
like skater adjacent.
Yeah, skater.
Skater
Very
adjacent.
skater
Yeah,
adjacent.
That's exactly how I was dressing. Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question, but I don't know how to like angle it because, well, okay, first you guys see. I mean, I assume you guys see clothes as like unisex.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I actually wanted to touch
Yeah.
on this. I wanted to touch on this.
All right. Okay. Yeah. What's
Do
up?
you guys think clothes should have genders?
No,
No,
I don't think so.
it shouldn't be.
No, I'm always encouraging Amari to wear like skirts.
Yeah, 100%. They're sick. I remember like watching this video, like kind of perfectly explaining how like the women and like men's like fashion is. Where like women's fashion, because it's like so very heavily like evolved. There's so many different silhouettes, different type of like garments that like women can wear. It's like a giant bubble, and a fashion designer's like kind of job for women's wear is to just like find something in this bubble that we can like, you know, work with. Find a space in this bubble. Whereas in menswear, because it's like so small, a menswear designer's like job is to try to grow the bubble.
And
know
it's
what I
like
mean?
menswear is like from a very heterosexual like perspective is just a shirt and pants.
Yes.
Shirt and pants, like short and pants, like
100%.
active wear, like if like women's wear is like skirts, blouses,
Like yeah, you think about it like
blazers.
for like just a top. Like what do men wear? They wear a t-shirt or a button-up shirt.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
pants, right?
Where else?
So
do you
there's
go
not
here?
much like variety in what like a man can choose if they're only thinking like, oh, I'm shopping in the men's section,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But do I think clothes should have genders? I had to think about that for like 2 more minutes
I just don't.
Wait, why?
because I don't think clothes should have genders. Like there shouldn't be like a categorization, but I think with the way people shop, it should.
What do you
I think
like to like the typical like average man.
yeah. So I think like clothes should still have genders just in terms of sizing, but I think if you were to like a man to wear a skirt, for him to wear a skirt, although this is stupid, like your average man to wear like a nice blouse or a nice skirt, it would have to be like quote unquote made for a man. Like it would have to be like
Yeah,
men's in the men's section.
I don't think I'm like looking at this from like a logical standpoint. I'm just looking for in like in an ideal world, like why wouldn't like people
Like
just
why can't it
wear-
all be the
why
same?
can it all just be
But
the same?
yeah,
You know what I
like,
mean?
but don't you think that if we keep clothes with a certain gender or like within their own like genders, that kind of just continues like the perspective or the mindset that like, oh, this is all that's limited to me.
Exactly. I think that's how it is. Like the only way like people can like go out and like I guess kind of be
Ex-
more expressive,
Experimental, expressive,
experimental
yeah.
with themselves is if like you kind of like put this barrier down and like you
Yeah,
you kind
and
of
like you allow
normalize-
them to
you
have
allow them
that.
to do this because it's like why not wear the fucking skirt and if obviously like I wouldn't wear like high heels like that. I don't think it looks good just because I don't think it looks good on me. But if like a straight man wants to wear some fucking high ass heel stilettos,
Mm.
why the fuck not?
Yeah, like you should let them, or
Like, you
like
should let
people
'em.
like it should be.
And he shouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
exactly.
trying to say. Like,
I think-
because people will stare at him, but like that shouldn't be it. You know what
I
mean?
think if I wasn't looking at this logically, and more of like a social thing, I think people should be more accepting of it. Obviously, right? And not only should other men, okay, this is gonna sound maybe a little bit crazy, but not only should other men be accepting of it, but I think it actually like kind of hurts for like women to not be accepting of it. Like for me, like I specifically will not talk to someone if like they like make a comment about like how I dress,
Oh, I hear
right?
you.
Like I've like yeah, like I have been on dates and like met people or like friends who have made comments about like, oh, like you something like along the lines of like, oh, like you dress like very like feminine, quote unquote.
We just had this actually recently. Where like one of our friends went to like this wedding, and like one of like our old friends, she was like, "Yo, you and your friend group, you guys are all gay, right? Because of the way you dress."
Yeah, like so
And I'm like, what?
she's basically said like you guys are gay, right? Like you have to be bisexual at least.
What the hell?
Mind
Like,
you,
bisexual at least. I'm
mind
like,
you,
what?
mind you, this girl is also bisexual. So like,
That's the funny part.
like that's
Gay
the
hating on the
craziest part.
gays.
And like, I don't care. Like, let's get this straight. I don't care if someone like calls us.
Oh, 100%.
Like
I don't
gay.
care if
Yeah.
someone calls
Like
me
it's
gay. I'm
actually
like,
like,
it's kind of a compliment. I'm
Kinda-
like, damn,
it's-
I'm
it's a-
killing this
it's
shit
it's a
right now.
compliment,
Hold
yeah.
on, hold on.
but like, I think that's the mindset that a lot of people have, right?
Yeah.
It's like, just because you dress different, not even feminine to a certain extent.
Yeah, 100%.
You're
You-
not wearing like a shirt or pants, like regular shirt pants. They're
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like
100%.
Like, what is this? What's going on with this? Mind you, like, this is Jersey City. Like, these people are from Jersey City, North Jersey, 20 minutes away from New York,
Yeah.
right? So it is kind of crazy that it's still like that prevalent, and it's because we live in the patriarchy, you guys, right? So
Yeah.
that's the reason why.
No, I literally I shared literally the exact same sentiment. I feel like I cannot be friends with anyone who doesn't like understand how I dress. I think, well, I'll elaborate. I think because like my wardrobe and how I dress, I hold that so close to me because like that's literally like a form of expression.
Yes.
It's how like I present myself to the world. So sometimes like feeling limited in that, it's like, okay, like we obviously probably we don't get along physically or like exterior like through our exteriors. We're probably not gonna get along with any other shit.
100%.
We can talk about that. We can talk about
Go
that
ahead,
because
go
I
ahead.
think like fashion is a form of communication, right?
Oh yeah.
It's
like,
literally
it's-
the first thing you see on a person.
It's the first thing you
It's
see in a person, and
non-spoken communication.
not to be
See it.
like judging a book by
But
its
it's
cover.
true. It's like, yeah.
It's true, yeah. Not to be judging a book by its cover, but like, I could, if I see what you're wearing, I could probably like assume with some closeness, like what you do for a living and like what you like
Right.
to do in your free
Who you
time,
hang out with.
who you hang out
Yes.
your
with,
fucking
like
political views. Like
your political views, who your group of friends are, depending on your ethnicity. Like, it's really telling.
yeah.
And like for example, we were all at a party.
Mm.
Which one?
Wait, I don't know if we should put this in.
I can just censor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were all at a party, all of us,
Mm.
and then like before you got there, Lolo and I were like, "Yo, who should we talk to?" Like, it's
Yes.
really hard to talk to these people,
Yes.
and I think it's because like that communication thing through clothes. It's like these people feel like they can't talk to us because we're
Yes.
dressed in a certain way, and then we feel like we can't talk to them because they're dressed in a certain way, and
It
it's
literally
like,
feels like a barrier.
and then
kinda.
like it's a barrier because that like doesn't encourage like open body language. It doesn't encourage like
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
like
Yes.
it doesn't signal that, oh, we should go talk to you,
Yes.
right? Unless someone is going to introduce me to you.
Okay.
And then at this party, not that we even tried to talk. Go ahead.
The
Go.
people, like all the people we ended up talking to that night, it was all like people in fashion.
Yeah.
Like we
Oh,
weren't even seeking
shit.
it out. It just so happened that everyone we spoke to ended up being like people in fashion,
Like people who work in fashion, people
who are
who
in fashion,
or like just into fashion.
or
Like,
are just like fashion hobbyists.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so it's like we're not even trying to do it, but that's
Right.
just what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like birds of the same feather flock together.
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
In any weather.
In any weather.
Any weather.
So yeah, like we were feeling like not, I don't know what the word is, but we were not feeling good about like not being able to talk to these people.
Yeah.
But that's just how it goes sometimes.
No, yeah. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely spaces that I've been to also where like I don't know anyone there, and it's just kind of just like, yeah, like you really just look at like what they're wearing, and that I know that sounds
telling.
fucking insane.
It
but
sounds
it's just-
pretentious, and to a certain extent, it is. Like
is.
I know
we're pretentious. It's okay.
we're pretentious.
we're owning up to it.
100%. Like there's some. There's
You're
some
not gonna
level
tell me
there.
that I'm not pretentious. Like, sorry. Okay, I'll spin this the other way too. Like, I'll relate it to like my dating. I think
Okay.
when people see someone who's into fashion, they're kind of the word isn't fetishizing, but like romanticizing the idea of like being friends with someone who's into fashion. So like, well, I guess it's easier to like relate it to my dating experience. Like, I will go on dates, and it seems like they just sent a like because they want, like, they are enticed by the idea of being with like a fashion man, quote unquote.
Oh, I
right?
hear you.
And then
yeah.
like it feels like they like me off the first date or second date, but like I don't think they actually like myself and my personality. I think they just like the
The
idea,
image.
like the superficial idea, of
like the
you
image of
being with a
being
fashion
with someone
bro.
who's into fashion, which like I think it feels that way too when I'm meeting those people.
Yeah.
Like it feels superficial.
It does feel superficial at some point because obviously you will meet people who are just like into fashion, but also like kind of like just networking in a way where it's like, oh, if I keep meeting like fashion people, because a lot of these people also work in fashion, they're like, maybe I can get to like a
X
certain
person, X person.
or that person. Oh, I see that this person knows this person. I'm gonna be friends with them just to be friends with them.
Yeah.
And I've definitely seen that a lot.
It's happened to us too, like where we'll go to events and like the next day or the day after, like you'll get a DM about like, oh hey, like asking for X or like can you connect me with Y? And I'm like, dude, I
Yeah.
do not know these people. Like,
right.
who do you think I am?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't blame people for doing that, but I feel like at the very least, try to approach it with like some
form of like
some
tact.
some
Like a, like,
decorum.
feeling-
Yeah,
yeah,
like, oh
or-
hey, let's grab coffee one day and like
Yeah.
let's talk.
Yeah.
And then if it comes about in conversation naturally, then like okay, that's fine.
100%.
But like I
Yeah.
don't even know you, and the next day like you're asking for something is insane.
Yeah. There was like one time I was at this party, and I had seen like these two people before. Like we obviously would go to the same parties because we were friends with the same person, and they had never once like walked up to me. They walked up to me this one time I was wearing a Chipovalo and a skirt.
Oh.
And I was like,
Oh.
okay, like, and then that's like when we actually started becoming friends. But it's just like stuff like that. It's like, okay, that's kind of like weird.
Yeah.
100%. It's weird, but it's also like it's a start. Of
It
something.
depends. Like some of those interactions could turn out well,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Because at least like those are like, oh, you're complimenting someone because like you know what I'm wearing, and I
Right,
know that you
right.
know what you know
Yes.
that is.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. But in some way, also, it's like, damn, like, what the hell did you
Like
think
that.
of me
That's it.
before?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and this was someone like you've ran into like multiple times, but like,
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
never-
yeah. Multiple
Okay,
times.
there.
Then
I'm
that's
like,
when it's like, okay.
I'm like, so now that I got the Chapova on,
Now you wanna
I
talk to
wanna
me.
come over here.
Yeah,
and
that's
talk
fair.
to
Borrow the
me.
Chapova.
That's fair. That's fair.
what I'm
That's fair.
saying.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
So, where are your go-to shops in New York City? Or like, where do you go? Where do you
Oh.
shop?
Tokyo 7.
Okay, yeah, like we'll do Tokyo 7, James Valoria,
Front's General Store.
Front's General Store, Laura Cagelli.
Laura Cagelli's.
I mean, like these are all like the dirtbag LES stores, but they have good stuff.
Commune, obviously.
Commune.
Shout out Commune.
Shout out Commune.
Honestly, like Brooklyn Flea is so good.
A lot of places in Brooklyn, to be honest, like they're like just random vintage stores.
Well,
Honestly,
where's better to shop, Manhattan or Brooklyn?
Ooh, it depends on what you're
Depends
looking
on
for.
What you're looking for.
I think if you're looking for like archive,
Yeah,
like
like
Japanese
Home,
clothes,
Yoji.
whatever, it's Manhattan.
It's Manhattan because
For-
they have like fucking Tokyo 7 itself has just so much.
They have crazy shit there.
Yeah,
over there.
and then if you're looking for like vintage, like true vintage, like
Vintage thrifted, like thrifting, 100% Brooklyn.
it's Brooklyn. Like we were just at a store earlier today where it was like really good, like old like Giorgio Armani suits,
like
like
suiting, leather jackets,
Brioni, CK stuff, like old
Yeah.
CK, like well made, like natural fiber, like stuff. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's so good, but like obviously Manhattan. Like if you're looking for like the crazy shit, like there are so many like random like showrooms in Manhattan that like independent people run. Like Eddie runs Hui Ben.
Hui, oh yeah, like
That's still one of the craziest showrooms like in the city to me. Where
Yeah.
Hueben shop will
I've
like
actually never been to any of his.
it will like Hueben shop holds like things that you can't
can't
find
anywhere else.
anywhere in
the city.
America.
What?
Like,
Maybe in America.
Brands from China that you've never heard of.
Penultimate, Soshitsuki.
Yeah.
Wait,
like,
what?
Something
He has all that
Katayama.
shit?
it's insane. And
we need to go to his show.
No, I'm
literally his
down.
apartment.
Cause Tiff's been.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good. Like brands from China, brands from like Japan.
The boots I have upstairs, I
Taiwan.
really bought from him. Like he put me onto that.
Does he have like women's clothing?
Yeah, he has a
he
bunch
has
of stuff.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Like,
Okay. We
So-
Piranha belts. I'm like, what the hell is going on here, bro?
It's just such a mishmash of good stuff.
But yeah, definitely Manhattan if you're looking for like the crazy shit. Like it's out here.
What other stores can we shout out? Like people
I mean,
Happy 99,
Happy 99. Is
Happy
also,
99.
I mean, Country of.
Country of.
They tax a little bit.
What's that store called where we got Aaron's gift at?
Oh, Bungee Space.
Bungee Space?
is really
Bungee
cool.
Space.
Also has like a lot of those like brands. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Eddie and that store are the only places in the East Coast
They have Penultimate.
that have Penultimate and like
They have Feifei.
Feifei. Feifei is like independent brand here from New York.
Yeah.
Let's talk really quick about formal wear
Let's talk about formal.
because one of my friends and would I call him a viewer? I guess he's a viewer, right? Jack. You met Jack.
We met Jack earlier.
We met
Yeah.
Jack earlier, yes.
He was like, I want to know about men's formal wear because he's like, I feel like suits have died and like with women, like formal wear has like definitely advanced with time, but
Mhm.
like not with men.
Yeah, I do think men's formal wear has died in the sense that like back then in like the 70s, 60s, and like I guess early 80s, like people were wearing like
Wearing suits.
full suits,
Everywhere.
like well-made suits tailored to them. And then somewhere in the late 90s, late 80s, 90s, 2000s, that kind of like dissolved and people started wearing like the suits that people would wear wouldn't fit them properly. And I think that's because like back then it was more common to like buy something and have it tailored because you had someone in your household to know how to tailor it.
Also, I think what definitely plays part into it is kind of like just like the overall like feeling towards like the man, like
Just-
capitalism, big business. Because I feel like suits are like kind of associated with like finance, like all these big
Like
businesses where there's-
law.
with law, and like I feel like more people have like kind of turned their eye towards like, oh, capitalism, this is bad.
Like
I don't
suits,
associate with that.
suits
There's
like
suits. People are called suits.
basically it's like I think suits now aren't looked at as something that people just throw on to look
Yeah.
good.
right.
It's like more of like a status thing or
Yeah,
like
it's status thing.
a formal thing that you only wear to like certain events or
Or-
certain
yeah,
places.
you know what I
like
mean?
quote unquote like dress for success.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like dress for success.
Yeah, like, since-
that's
since-
not anymore like in our heads, like
since suiting is associated with that type of thing,
yes,
people who aren't in those career paths will try like stray away from wearing like
Yeah.
formal like
Oh,
wear
that
and
makes
suits, like,
sense.
the
right?
image of success has changed, but also I feel like the pandemic maybe also kind of played a part of it.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
people
But now,
like more comfortable
Casual wear.
casual
Very
wear.
casual.
Not that suits can't be comfortable. I think one of the problems is like the accessibility
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to like well-fitting suits. Like one, for a suit to look good on you, it has to fit like really well.
it has to be tailored.
It has to be
I
tailored.
think a suit.
I literally did not know that.
Maybe not tailored, but like it should fit your shoulders at the very least.
Have you guys seen that guy on TikTok who's from like he lives in China and like he like slaps people's asses?
Yeah, yeah. The guy from Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's like, all right, stand up.
No.
Yeah, guys, look at this shit. Look at this young Filipino boy.
Hey, yo, what the fuck going on?
Oh my god. Like wrapped in my three-dimensional.
Hey, what's
Suit.
going on? What the hell?
And then if they're under 18, he'll touch them with a hanger.
He's like
He'll be like this,
That's
wrapped in my. He's weird. That
And then
guy's
once he
weird.
gets to the bottom, like he just like starts slapping their ass.
He starts. Yeah, it's
What
so
the-
insane. But like, yeah, that guy makes really good suits. And I think what was I getting into? One, like it has to fit well. Two, they're expensive.
Mhm.
And then, like,
expensive.
The general public's idea of how much clothes should cost
yeah.
is like altered because
Destroyed.
of fast fashion, right?
Destroyed.
Like no one is gonna go buy
A fucking
one.
super 120s wool suit
Right.
Yeah.
when you can go to Shein and buy it for $10.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like when people say like, "Oh, why is a hoodie $60-$70?" But like that's not to us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
To
not
us.
insane
Yeah.
because like a hoodie shouldn't be worth $30 because if it was,
One wash.
it wasn't made. It wasn't made well. It wasn't made ethically, and like it's gonna get ruined in like
right.
a couple washes, right? So I think I'm losing the point here, but it's just hard to
Yeah.
like wear formal wear.
I kind of feel like the concept of suits is slowly transforming to a more modern, casual like wear. Cause like I don't know if you guys saw Goo's most recent collab. I forgot who they collabed with, but like for the men's side, they literally have like this one entire fit that looks like a suit, but it's kind of like I'm like, how would I describe this? It's like what a Korean man would wear as a
I know what
suit.
you're
You
talking
what I
about.
mean? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
big
yeah.
blazer and like slacks.
Big blazer.
Oh, yeah.
Like- Go ahead.
No, I was saying.
Or do you
I-
disagree? Like, do you not think that's like a modern?
No. I 100% think it is like the oversized, like kind of like the baggy suit in a more casual sense,
Mm.
and like your pants are a little bit more, baggy.
Mm.
I think that is coming back, especially in Asia. It's coming back.
100%. Yeah.
Heavily. I don't know if America. You think?
Mm.
that would
That's literally why
influence
like the
that?
only analogy I had was like a K-drama man because
Yeah.
like that's how
100%.
they
Who
that's
wears
how they
like a
dress.
suit with jeans.
Yeah.
And that's actually like one of my favorite ways to wear like a blazer is like a blazer, like a white tee, and then like
some nice jeans.
nice jeans and like whatever. I think formal wear is coming back in a different way, in a
Mm.
more casual way, like you said. Do you think your friend asked you this because he wants to wear
I don't know.
more formal wear?
Maybe.
Because I don't think there's anything wrong with like throwing a blazer, like a matching blazer and pants and a white shirt
Yeah.
or even a t-shirt
I think that's a good look.
and going about your regular day.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you're very scared about what people will perceive you as, like you just I think I talk about this a lot. Like if you have like the wherewithal and like the internal confidence to go outside, that's like your start in like being experimental
Yeah.
in fashion.
Right.
And then like you won't have to care. Like if you're doing it, if you're wearing things to be seen, like for the sole reason to be seen and like signal to people that you're into fashion or you want to dress up, it's not gonna work.
Mm.
Like it has to come from like inside you
Yeah.
that you want to communicate this to the world.
Right. I was gonna say that I do think what you were saying, how formal wear is becoming more modern, right? Because I actually had an interview like last week, and I bought myself Hakama pants also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same Muji ones, but they're like navy blue. But I wore that to the interview,
Mm-hmm.
so I could see like that's how like formal wear is getting tied into like modern dress.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do
Like
you know
I
what I
think
mean?
no. I think interview wear is a good signal of how like formality is changing, because okay, like I work at a fashion company, like a wholesale fashion company. To a certain extent, you would still expect someone to wear like a blazer, trousers, and like a nice blouse if they're a woman, and then if they're a man, like a nice suit,
Right.
right? Um, like to my interview to that company, I wore like a suit, a tie, and a shirt. But when we hire people and I see people come interview, even if it's like for a job that isn't in design, if it's in like the finance department or supply chain, people are still pretty casual. Like it'll be a blazer and a shirt, no tie. And then when we're interviewing people for design, it's even more casual. Like a nice sweater and jeans.
Bro, it definitely depends on like where you work at, because definitely at my like workplace.
Oh yeah, you can speak to this because you work in accounting. Yeah,
I
but even
Jesus
then,
Christ.
like I think the way that Lolo
oh
dresses,
my god,
the way Lolo dresses for work now, wouldn't fly 10 years ago.
it wouldn't.
And I think it's funny, right? Because the way Lolo and I had this conversation when he first started working, the way he dresses for work is still would be considered different and unique to the
I've
to
still
like
gotten
the
that.
quote unquote outside world
Yeah,
world
yeah, yeah. Or,
because
the
like
average.
when you're in fashion and interested in fashion, it's like you're in a bubble, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
always
You're in
think
a
that
bubble.
you're not dressing unique enough or nice enough
Yeah.
because you always like see people who are dressing more interesting and more unique.
100%.
But like you kind of have to like ground yourself in that sense
Yeah.
because like bro, like we wake up every day and we can decide to throw on like comb or
Right,
like
right,
issei
right. Yeah,
to go to
yeah,
work,
yeah.
which is crazy. Like
It is
people
pretty fucking
people wake
crazy.
up and throw on like, not to like roast you, but like H&M and Zara.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like we're in a bubble. We have to realize that like in the general sense of things, we're still like pretty out there.
Yeah.
That also plays into the trend thing too, right? Because we could think it's a trend because everyone in our bubble is aware and is maybe even wearing
Oh
it.
yes, that's true.
But like people in the general public aren't wearing it. Like there's so many TikToks where I've seen like oh my god, like X thing is getting played out. But it's not getting played out. It's just because everyone in your algorithm
Echo
Yeah.
chamber.
is
Yeah,
wearing
yeah,
it,
yeah.
right?
I remember I saw something that you posted when TikTok was about to shut down, and you were like, "Oh, like let's see who really can dress."
Yeah, I was like
You showed me this. You showed me
yeah,
this.
I was like TikTok is dead. Let's see who can really dress. And it's so funny because a couple days after that, I was on Substack scrolling and someone wrote a whole Substack piece about like, oh my god, I'm so happy TikTok is dead because we can see who has good taste.
100%.
And then someone, the same person that wrote that, like quoted their piece and said, like with my tweet as like TLDR.
Oh.
Like if you don't want to read it, like just read this tweet. And it was my tweet, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, how is this on
Wait,
here?
what?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, his
fucking
tweet went a little
crazy.
viral.
You need to show me that.
That tweet went viral. I got like 5K likes or something like that, which is so funny. Like my
Shit.
digital footprint is so cooked.
No, I love it though. I love your Twitter so much.
Like it's so cooked.
also,
Digital
like side
footprint
note,
is crazy.
that's how Chris and I met through Twitter. which
Yeah,
is
we
kind
met
of
through Twitter, which is insane. We had mutual friends before that, but we just met through Twitter.
All right, yeah. So this concludes our talk with Chris and Lolo. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Do you guys have anything you want to say?
I feel like this was a really fun conversation.
I think I'm good. This is
Yeah.
really good.
Yay!
You said it would
No, I
take
had
us-
fun.
You said it would take us like 10 to 15 minutes, but I feel like we eased
just
into
went
it.
in there.
Yeah, no,
Just went
I
in there.
like as soon as I
In,
started
like,
recording.
5.
As soon as I started recording, I was like, oh, actually, this feels really casual. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Hell yeah.
Again, I think it depends on who you're with.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think Lolo and I together are kind of like, we could just yap for so long.
Yeah.
Yapping too
No, I had
much.
so much fun.
Too much.
Thank you for having us.
Um,
This was a lot of fun. I could keep talking for like an
Yeah,
hour.
me too.
Honestly, I could keep talking for like an hour or two. Just give me a question and I'll just say whatever I think.
I was like hella nervous coming into this, but then it just like flows so naturally, and
Yay,
it's just like
I'm glad.
just camera. Like
Tapos na tayo.
tapos na tayo.
Tapos na tayo sa itong episode
Episode ng
ng ETCHED GROCERY CART. Yung podcast ni Lovette.
Oh my
dito,
god.
fuck.
Salamat.
Salamat sa
lahat
lahat
ng
ng tao doon on the other side of the phone. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Ano
Thank you
pa?
for watching.
Salamat.
Kailangan mo mag-like and subscribe sa YouTube,
Pasensya.
sa Spotify
Wait.
if it's on Spotify.
Pasensya, like, please.
Pasensya is no, sorry.
Yeah, Pasensya is sorry.
I'm the real Asian American here.
Hell yeah.
Ito si Lovette. our amazing friend.
Amazing.
I'm really trying to speak Tagalog right now, but I can't.
But this is fucking difficult. If we speak
But Lavette is the best.
My kuyas talaga.
Ako si Christopher.
Ako si Lorenzo.
And salamat.
Salamat. Have a good
Ingat.
week, guys. Ingat.